Today in Geometry, Chapter 7, Part 6, we're going to talk about sine and cosine ratios. In the last lesson, we learned about the trig function tangent, and we learned that the tangent was the side opposite over the side adjacent. And so today we're going to add to the trig ratios, and we're going to talk about the sine and the cosine function. Okay, remember that we use these trig functions on a right triangle. If we have this right triangle, whose sides are 3, 4, and the hypotenuse is 5, we are going to learn that theta, which just is a symbol for the angle that we are coming from here, this angle right here, we are going to learn that it is the side opposite over the hypotenuse, and that the cosine is the side that is adjacent over the hypotenuse. So if we were looking at this right triangle and we were going to find the sine of theta, the side opposite of theta is 3, so the side opposite would equal 3 over the hypotenuse, which is 5, so 3/5, or 0.6000. Remember, we're using 4 decimal places. The cosine of theta is a side that is adjacent to the angle, which is 4 over the hypotenuse, which is 5. Let's take a look at this example of right triangle UVW. Here's our right angle. If we want to find the cosine of angle U, here we have angle U. Cosine is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. So here our adjacent side is 18. So adjacent is 18 over the hypotenuse, which is 30. That reduces to 3/5, which equals 0.6000. If we want to find the cosine of W, here we go, we're going to come with respect from W and go the side that is adjacent, which is 24, over the hypotenuse, which is 30, which reduces to 4/5, and that is 0.8000. If we use the same triangle, only this time we're looking for sine, and we want the sine of U, then we're going to come to this angle here. And remember, sine is the side that is opposite, which is 24, over the hypotenuse, which is 30, which is the same thing right here that we have. So we know that is 0.8000. The sine of W is the side that is opposite, which is 18, over the hypotenuse, which is 30, which reduces to 0.6000. If we have this right triangle who have side lengths 9 and 12, and we don't know the hypotenuse, and we are trying to find the sine or the cosine function, then we have a problem because we need the hypotenuse for either one of those. So before we can find the sine or the cosine, we have got to find our hypotenuse. So we need to backtrack a little bit and use the Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, so we're going to have, for A, we'll put 9 squared plus 12 squared, and that's going to equal c squared. Okay, so 9 squared is 81 plus 12 squared is 144, so that gives you 225 equals c squared. So when we take the square root of that, we get that c equals 15. So we know that the hypotenuse, RS, right here is 15. Now we can go about our business and find the cosine of R. If we start right here at angle R, the cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So our side adjacent equals 9 over the hypotenuse, which is 15. If we come from angle S, the adjacent side is 12, and the hypotenuse is 15. Okay, so to review our 3 trig functions, we have sine, cosine, and tangent. The ratio of the sine function is the side that's opposite the angle you're coming from over the hypotenuse. The cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and the tangent is opposite over adjacent. One little rhyme that people use to remember these is SOHCAHTOA. Sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. Sine is opposite over the hypotenuse. So, okay, cosine starts with a C. Okay, is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So you have so and then tangent is opposite over adjacent. So a little jingle to remember is so, toa. And then that's an easy way for you to remember the ratios. Sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. Cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And tangent is the opposite over the adjacent. Okay, I would know this for our quiz and for the worksheet that you'll be doing the next couple of days. Y'all have a great day and make sure you're being good to my sub.